Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stone and Void. I'm your host, Jay Phillips, joined as always with Don Bowie,
Hey.
Patrick Collins.
Hello.
Tonight, we're just bringing you guys a little bit of the spoilers that happened for the last week or so, mainly bunnies. And
Bunnies.
a little bit of preparation for the upcoming tournament in Las Vegas. You guys have been practicing a lot for that recently, which has been interesting, seeing a lot of the different decks that have been coming out of it. Especially here locally, now that we're starting to get an influx of more people coming, and a lot of people are soon already starting to test for LA this early out.
Yes.
What decks have you guys been really testing out for that anyways?
For LA?
For the Las Vegas,
Las
since that's the
Vegas.
next one coming up anyways.
I've been testing out the new popular decks. They're the Four Sacred Beasts Refrain. I think it's the new Alice's World, at least from what I've seen on the recent deck list, that it's topping more often than Alice's World is.
Yeah, I've been running Kaguya 1.0 and R&R Necrolance.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool.
It's nice to see a lot of different options. Of course, R&R is still popping up quite a bit. That's really no surprise. I'm definitely hoping they're right about the early rotation and seeing a lot less of it. It's funny that we're already seeing
He
a
will
little less of it
still
now.
dominate, but it'll be more like 50% R&R rather than 90% R&R. I believe, anyways.
It's still like a fresh format, right? Like, most
Yeah.
people haven't found that one deck that they want a net deck off of yet.
There hasn't been.
Maybe like once that happens, everyone will run that same deck like they did with Alice's World.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of terrifying to think of people going back to single deck again. Although, it's been, I don't know, locally at least, we've seen enough variance that I'm fine with it. Although, even though there was that idea of meta, last time we went to a big tournament, only a small fraction of people were actually playing a meta deck, and there was a lot of people playing fun stuff. I don't know.
But then once you get past like the top 25, they're all R&R. Like,
Yeah, that's very
maybe
true.
a couple Valentinas.
Yeah. My very last game of the entire night was when we were in the last LA tournament, was a Vlad deck, which was funny.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I placed 35th or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tournaments aside, it looks like next season's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of the blue Mechana stuff that's happening, but I'm super stoked for is all the new rabbits. And it's definitely looking like Kaguya is going to be a very powerful ruler in the next set. And starting off with Kaguya herself, Kaguya, Rabbit Princess of the Lunar Halo, is I believe her name. As always, the writing for the cards is absolutely terrible and hard to read. And I'm going to point this out every single time until everybody complains and they change it, which I think they already said they're changing.
They already are.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Hopefully for a second printing of everything, because I don't want to put this writing in the cube. Either which way, complaining aside, she is a little girl, of course, with an awakening to help her ruler, which is kind of cool. When this card enters the field, she's a 3-drop, by the way. 2 light, 1 colorless. Her awakening is 1 moon, 1 colorless. When this card enters the field, you may search your main deck for up to 4 rabbit resonators with total cost 1 and put them into your field, then shuffle your main deck. When a resonator is put into graveyard from your field, put a 100/100 counter on this card. It is at base 800/800, which is really good for a 3-drop with a really reasonable ability. And as we're about to soon find out, cards entering your graveyard this turn is going to be a really easy mechanic with these rabbits.
Yeah.
I think this card's amazing.
Yeah, no, this card's really good. Also, I love the artwork. The style in which they are doing these rabbits is a watercolor style that I'm really just enjoy. And I've also seen a lot of this in tattoo culture, actually, funny enough. This is actually very...
Rabbits?
This style of the way that they do rabbit is a weird artistic style that I've seen a lot of tattoo artists paint in watercolor to do animals this way. And it looks really interesting, the amount of different art styles they keep doing for this game.
Yeah.
It's been video games, anime, and just everything under the sun.
Yeah, they have a lot of interesting artists.
There's a few times I hate the artwork, but this is definitely one where I absolutely love it.
All the rabbits are super cool. But the wording on this one is kind of weird. So, with total cost 1, search up to 4 rabbits with total cost 1.
So there could be a rabbit that costs 0? type of thing.
I don't know if they
I
want you
doubt
to
they would
get
do
4 1-drops or just like 4 rabbits.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, 4 rabbits, each of their converted mana cost has to be 1.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
4 1-drop rabbits, which we're about to quickly skip over to the next one so that we can kind of see. We got this as an early spoiler already. They're obviously going to be doing this as a full art promo for most likely one of our
It's alternate art.
Yeah, for the tournaments, I believe, is what the artwork's going to be. This, of course, being for 1 light rabbit of the Moonlit Knights. It is a 200 attack, 400 defense, and it has Banishes card, rest target J/Resonator, which is an amazing effect. Of course, it's not a repeatable effect, but this is the first rabbit we're getting, and it's really, really good.
I think this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. So it can tap, if you got the other Kaguya, awakened her for 5, bring in 4 of these, you could tap down your opponent's board for 4, and put 4 +100 counters on her, making her extremely huge out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
that's so crazy.
Like, yeah, get them out. The next turn, like sprint, attack with them, and whichever ones don't die, you just tap down the rest of their stuff.
Yeah,
just go crazy.
Also, the fun thing is sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought here, but there's just a bunch of interesting ways to play with this that you don't have to tap them to use the abilities. It's just
they're really strong.
Good. Yeah.
And I think I really love the flavor text on this rabbit too.
Foolish is the warrior who rides himself
I'm gonna read it. Foolish is the warrior who readies himself for sword and spell, but not rabbits.
Sounds a lot better when you read it. No, that's kind of awesome. So this is an uncommon, and the Kaguya is a super rare.
Well deserved.
Yeah, definitely well deserved for these
Rabbit
cards.
tribal in the next set.
The next up rabbit that we have, and I'm really hoping that we get more, but for right now, this is all that we have. It is the Moonbreeze rabbit, so similar to Moonbreeze elf, it does produce mana, but through an interesting way. Its Banishes card produce either 1 green or 1 moon, so sacrificial rabbits.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is a recurring mechanic for all rabbits. It would just make me level more. It is also a green 1-drop. Same attack, 200 attack, 400 defense. I really love all of these.
Apparently they think they're kind of like lemmings. You know, they just like, oh, we're gonna go die, yay!
That's so sad. Like, imagine Kaguya just standing there tearing rabbits apart to make mana. This is like,
don't worry, I'm gonna bring you back with a chance standby.
Which we're about to get to. So, really quick before we get to anything else that actually supports these cards, just standing alone on these cards themselves, I'm really excited for playing with rabbits. This seems like something I just really want to do. I can't express it in any other ways. Fun. This looks like fun. They look like there could be a stable, real deck. And, I
think it's going to be a decently competitive deck. Mm-hmm. You know, it's going to be like fairies.
I mean, paying 5 just for extra stuff. Yeah. Like, you're getting 5 creatures on the board with 1 card, and that's just crazy.
Possibly on turn 3, too.
Yeah, if you're playing Apollos. If you're playing Elves or any other thing, just turn Apollos, 2. Yeah. Turn 2, 5 rabbits, that's pretty good.
Yeah, these are really strong. The fact that we will be able to recur them rather easily. And also, any cost reduction mechanics. I know that the dragon isn't very good because every time that he reduces 1 cost per thing dying. It's still, if they do more cost reduction mechanics similar to that, this could just end up being a very even more broken card.
Oh, that dragon.
Yeah, the dragon gets cheaper.
The red one?
The red one.
I think it's 1 for each creature that died.
It's 1
and it costs 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there could be a turn where you just pulled all these out, sacked them all, did a whole bunch of cool effects, and then played a fat dragon. Doesn't sound very good, hence why everybody plays Gwyber, but still this leads itself, it lends itself to those weird corner cases that we haven't been able to explore before, because this is just an interesting way to produce will to interact with your opponent. Very excited. And next up we have the Rabbit Trap, which is 1 light, 3 colorless, and it is a chance standby Trigger, when a J/Resonator your opponent controls attacks you, put up to 3 target rabbits with total cost 1 from your graveyard into your field. It is only 3 of them.
Okay, I thought it was 4.
Not 4. So you can't pay for its cost by restacking rabbits and like looping funny things. Unfortunately, banishing is a lot weaker in this game than it is in, say, Magic, where if you block something in Magic, as long as the block damage doesn't go through. In this one, if you sack after you block, damage does go through.
Makes it a lot faster.
Yes, it definitely does. And it does make the rabbits a little weaker in this game comparatively.
It would be so broken if they did everything.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm kind of glad it doesn't, but it makes it so much fun. Also, the artwork on this card is one of my favorite things ever. Those rabbits really just want to gnaw your face off.
And if you want
this is my favorite art.
Yeah, all the rabbits are just my favorite. The most
middle rabbit, the one just like.
He looks so happy while he's murdering you.
I think these arts are all on a playmat. It might be buy a box.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is, but this art is not on there. It is the Kaguya center art and the 2 rabbits on the side. This art right here, though, I mean, look at the one that's actually gnawing off the guy's back of his head.
I just tell that one's like, for Kaguya.
I want this in full art so I can see what the other rabbit down here on his shoulder is doing. I mean, it's just my favorite artwork of the set for sure.
But it's not rare, so we're never going to give it.
No, I know, it's not. But promo possibly, something like that. I would love to see all the rabbits promoted because awesome. Next up we have this is super hard to read.
Interdimensional Escape.
2 light, 1 colorless. Each player chooses a resonator they control. Then each player banishes all resonators, all other resonators they control. It is a spell chant instant. This being a board wipe at instant speed. So your opponent goes to attack, and then you just make them blank out the rest of their things.
That's really good.
It is extremely
good. This combos really well with Tree.
I could see this in so many things. We've been needing a board wipe really badly. I would expect this to be...
And then they made an instant speed board wipe.
I expected this to be a chant, just a normal spell chant. And I expected it to cost 5 mana.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
And I was like, that's going to be playable.
And this
is 3 mana. It's an instant. This is beyond playable. It somehow warps itself to be more than just a control deck at this point. It allows you to play it in just anything that's really running light as a good, strong, even aggressive card. This is definitely going to see a ton of play in various strategies, and I'm super excited to brew around this.
Yeah. It's also really nice. It's going to be replacing Sign to the Future as that one card.
Oh, yeah. It clears way more creatures. It's way more consistent. It's quite incredible. I'm definitely excited for it.
It's a reason to play white. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about it?
I wonder if Faria would be worth playing with that card.
Faria does... Which one's Faria again?
The one that no one plays. But she's got Excalibur.
Oh, right, Faria.
The plan would be attack with her, and then you play that. So, and they block with something, then you play that. Then they're forced to decide to choose all the guys that they're not blocking with, or they choose the guy that they're blocking with, and then they have to take the damage. So either you board wipe them all at once, or you kill everything but one and then get damage through with Faria. I don't know. I think it sounds pretty strong, personally.
That seems interesting. I can see this just making a ton of decks viable in general. Like this is one of the better balancing cards I've seen. It gets us out of a completely aggressive meta. It makes you reserve your hand a lot more. This game, since every draw you have is live, playing out your entire hand isn't a unreasonable thing to do. You don't get punished for playing everything you have.
Yeah.
So this makes it, no, I don't want to play my Lancelot right now because you're just going to wipe it type of thing. People play slower when Sign of Future is out, but that's really not a stopping force right now.
Yeah.
Everybody goes wide. I could actually see a combination in the Legacy format of Sign of the Future and that card both being in the deck as a way to just stop your opponent from going wide ever. Either way, a lot of people are more worried about rotating anyways, so this is definitely just an awesome card.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Croco Shark.
Croco Shark.
I keep wanting to call him Coco Shark for some reason.
Yeah, I would be happy with calling him Coco Shark.
He is a fantasy resonator, so it's cool that we're getting another fantasy resonator. There's a few things that vibe with that, but not much, so it's really cool to see more of them. It does seem that fantasies are almost always going to be blue at this point.
There's red.
There is a red fantasy.
Dragon, the Guild de Reyes. He's a dragon / fantasy.
But outside of that, most things have been consistency.
Then there's Purple Mist,
which is blue.
And then there's that Alice's Soldier, the 2-drop 5/5.
Mm-hmm.
That's got the same ability as Purple Mist.
But enough about that. He is 2 blue, 1 colorless. He's a 200, and he's one of the most interesting cards in the game because you may have any number of copies of this card in your deck. So you could run all 40 if you wanted.
You can run 40 and then 15 in your sideboard.
I really want to see the person that has a stack of 100. Just shows up and like, this is my deck. Deal with it. Just for
all
fun.
My stones are Croco Sharks. My ruler is Croco Sharks.
It has stealth. When you play a summon spell from your hand, when this card is in your field from a chance, or you may. When this card enters your field from a chance standby area, you may put a card named Croco Shark from your hand into the field. This card gains plus 200, plus 200 for each other Croco Shark you control. So I kind of skipped that, kind of funny. The stealth ability is simply whenever you play a summon spell. So you play a Croco Shark, you stealth out a Croco Shark, and you play a Croco Shark from your hand.
Right. And then you get 3 6/6s.
Yep. Seems pretty good for 3 mana. And you
solid.
have as many of these as you want. So you could potentially flip up multiple Croco Sharks from the chance standby. Say turn 1 you put 1 down, turn 2 you put 2 down, turn 3 you play a Croco Shark.
Well, turn 1 you can only put 1 down if you're playing Kaguya 1.0.
Right, so, sorry, correction. With Kaguya 1.0, which is what I was assuming that was most likely this is going to be played with, of course there's the rotation problem. But in the Legacy format, you play Kaguya 1.0, you chance standby 1 Croco Shark, turn 2, 2 Croco Sharks, turn 3, a Croco Shark, flip 3 Croco Shark and 1 from your hand, and now you're just going to be happy. And then your opponent is going to make you choose one of those and sack the rest.
Yeah. That's why they showed those cards right next to each other.
Of course. Either which way, looks like it's going to be the most hilarious, silliest fun possible. I've seen other mechanics in games where you get to play as many of these as you want type of mechanics, and this is probably by far the best of those mechanics I've seen in a game.
Mm-hmm. It's usually it's definitely like a fun deck for like maybe a week or 2 when you're playing it, but then like after that it's like, this is really boring. There's literally no thought.
Right.
What am I going to draw?
Yeah, exactly.
Croco Shark.
Now, it is interesting that they are trying to support this archetype by giving us Croco Shark Crossing, which is 1 blue, 2 colorless, and it's a addition field. When this card enters your field, search your main deck for a card named as Target Resonator, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your main deck. Tap Target Resonator and all other Resonators with the same name, gain plus 300 until end turn. Of course, this could be used for multiple other things. It has amazingly awesome, cute bunny art, so it's got to be somewhat good. But either which way, this is kind of intended for the Croco Shark, as it hints in the name. Search out a Croco Shark so you can play a Croco Shark. So the fact that it replaces itself and pumps them, and you just make huge Croco Sharks. And if that wasn't good enough to possibly be a support card, I
think it's funny that the Croco Sharks are the ones with the breeding problem and not the bunnies. The bunnies are all dying off.
Well, they can feed off of the bunnies.
I guess that's how it happens. And
except for they're hopping over the Croco Sharks.
Yeah.
Anyway, really quick though, so we can talk about this in a full package. Hopefully they actually have a few more support cards for it, because that'd be hilarious. But for 1 wind, 2 colorless, Hair of Inaba, yeah.
Inaba. I think you're fine.
Cool. It is a were-rabbit, so we're getting 1 more were-rabbit, this time in green, so it's first time for green, I believe. 600 attack, 700 defense, and when this card enters the field, name a card, reveal the top 4 cards of your main deck, put all revealed cards with that name into your hand, and then shuffle the rest into your main deck. This card gains flying and swiftness as long as you control a fantasy resonator, which Croco Shark so happens to be a fantasy resonator. So this kind of seems like it's supposed to go with the Croco Sharks.
Yeah.
You play this, grab 4 Croco Sharks, and then go.
I mean, it can maybe fit in a Xion deck, but other than that, it's like only Croco Shark.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed draw in Xion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a guaranteed draw in Croco Shark deck. So
it's a guaranteed, probably at least 2, if not 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you play this, the last one, and then there's one other card that you were saying, Pumpkin Witch. And then a ton of Croco Sharks, and you've got this weird deck of Croco Shark Madness.
That's what the deck would be called, silly. Croco Shark Madness.
Croco Shark would just win with Pumpkin Witch and Croco Shark with Kaguya 1.0 on turn 3 or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Just beat the crap out of them. And as fun, as ridiculous as those cards were, and I loved every last part of them, and the rabbits are definitely my most favorite archetype in the game now, we now have these red spoilers, which are a little lackluster in comparison to the previous ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is kind of just more generic BS red stuff. Even they're rare, which is Battle for...
is it rare?
It is a rare. It's Battle for Attoractia. So it's the name set card of the set. It's 1 red, 1 colorless. It's a spell chant with Remnant. So Remnant simply means that you can play it from your graveyard.
Oh, it's got Remnant. Okay.
And target J/Resonator you control and target J/Resonator your opponent controls deal damage equal to their attack to each other. So we've had this effect before in a 1 mana spell, which was great.
Spell chant instant.
And spell chant instant, which makes it way better. It costs 1, it's much more reasonable, and it sees minimal play. This costs 2 mana. You have to play it during your turn and not even during combat, so you can't really trick your opponent into the best possible blowout situations. This is not going to see much play, I don't think. Maybe during rotation, but I just believe you play the other one more, and then you just don't play this.
This is going to exist in a world without Flame of the Outer World and things like that.
But it's just...
Having Remnant? That's 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. 4 mana.
I don't know. I think I'm with Jay on this one. It's
It does
close
play well
to being
Sylvia.
playable, but it's...
I'll smoothie bet you guys.
That one?
Well, see, this is the problem, is I know once rotation hits, we won't have the other one, the better one. And I feel like this card goes great with, Sylvia.
Sorry, guys.
So it goes great with Sylvia, and it can see play. It's just for a rare and for its power level, I'm really sad that it's the name set card of
Is
the
it a
set.
rare?
It's a rare.
Yeah, I think
it just seems lackluster.
It's Resonator fighting Resonator.
J/Resonator.
Yeah. I think it's good removal.
We already have this card for 1 mana, though. Right now.
Yeah. And I think it should be played.
But it doesn't.
Okay, I'll smoothie bet.
Okay, I'll smoothie bet.
Two main board?
2 main board.
Are you not in this at all?
I'm not in this right now because I do realize that
we get it.
rotation occurs. If you don't know what the smoothie bet is, look at one of our past videos. Definitely just go check it out. It will be funny when it actually occurs during the next championships. Next up, though, we have
Allosaurus, Avatar of Destruction.
that one, Allosaurus. I just couldn't read that with crap. It is 2 fire, 3 colorless. It is a 12 apostle / avatar. So finally, I think our last 12 apostle.
I think we need one more.
We might need one.
It has swiftness. It's 1,000, 1,000. When this card enters your field, you may put a fire spell chant or spell chant instant with the total cost 3 or less from your moved area into play and play without paying its cost. That's what it says. So this is for people who played Magic, a really weird Snapcaster.
I think this card's amazing.
I think this card is awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, it's. I wish it could grab bigger things or things for X cost, but that would probably be too good. It's 1,000, which
that Don just talked about.
Yeah, it can.
You can grab Flame King Shout.
Flame King Shout is
brutal. So
brutal.
after you do Remnant and it exiles, you then get it again, and this is why that could possibly make that card.
Well, this would go
playable.
in the Allosaurus deck, and the Allosaurus deck has already been confirmed to be like doing pretty decently in the with
rotation.
just the Atlas cluster.
So this card right here makes a lot of interesting things super just good. It's the red Snapcaster Mage for Force of Will.
It's kind of like the new Blazer. Because he's got swiftness and he's like 1,000, same mana cost.
Yeah.
Needs
super good.
attack.
Play him. He is a super rare.
Wait, he has target attack?
No,
he
he
doesn't.
needs it.
Yeah, he needs it.
It would be cool.
But, I mean, that's probably the most interesting thing that we got from last week's Red spoilers, which I'm kind of happy Red's not doing super great right now. Blood Bolt, 1 fire, 1 colorless. Choose one. This card deals 600 damage to your opponent, or your opponent can't... This card deals 600 damage to your opponent. Your opponent cannot gain life until end of turn, or target Resonator gains plus 800 until end turn. At the next end of turn, destroy that Resonator. So this card isn't super impressive. However, in other games, I've seen this card be a staple in so many decks, and considering that life gain is actually coming to Force of Will as a real mechanic, this card could be phenomenal.
The game is going to get slower with the Alice cluster, so...
And this is something you'll really want in your red deck then.
Yeah, or at least sideboard if you end up playing that crazy life gain.
Yeah. And it also has a secondary mode, which is interesting. I'm only even talking about the first half. The gaining no life is
the first half
actually the thing that's important.
But the second part could be relevant,
too. It could. It's crazy to see this card have a split ability to it. And the fact that this is common is even crazier, too. Play this in Limited, play it in Constructed. It's a good card.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Veil... Salvarian Apparition.
Apparition.
Sorry, I had to look away and just put it together in my head. Still can't read the lettering on this thing. 1 fire, 1 colorless. It is an illusion, which is awesome. We finally have, I think, the first illusion in the game, or do we have another one?
Illusion? Oh,
yeah.
This
might be the first illusion that we have. When this card in your main deck is removed from the game, put it into your field. It is it is a 400 attack. So this is one of those things where you exile it off the top of your deck, off of an effect or something like that, and you get it for free.
Udyr, Uther, like the 3 Time Sisters.
This is
it
really
would
cool.
Only be off of one because it's only if it was in your deck.
Right.
Oh,
that one that exiles the top 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that good. I think
no, it's not a good card, but it's a good mechanic. It's a idea. It's something that I could see the game doing really well at some point.
I think if you're going for Ouroboros, you play that card. But I don't.
There's something.
Unfortunately, it's just too weak as well. 400 for 2 mana if you draw it is terrible.
Yeah. And
a chance of it popping off the top of your deck is pretty lame.
I feel like there's going to be more support for this kind of stuff in the following cards.
I think so too, but I think this is obviously common for a reason.
Yeah.
This is you.
If it was a 1-drop, it would be amazing.
Yeah. Then the 400 1-drop is stupid.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe it's a 100 if you cast it, but if it was brought in through the exile.
What if it was a 200 1-drop? Do you think it would be more playable or no?
Yes. No, maybe no.
It's still not playable.
It's
too hard to get that trigger condition.
Mm-hmm. You need it to be broken and trigger off of that trigger ability. I think if they gave it, if you triggered it this way, it gets bigger. If you play it normally, it's dumb.
Okay.
Next up, we have Ring of Fate. 2 fire, 2 colorless. Each play. Actually, I do like this card. I forgot about this one when I was saying everything was boring. This is probably one of the better cards I've seen for a while, and it is uncommon. Each player discards their hand, shuffle all magic stones from their graveyard into their magic stone deck, and then shuffle all other cards from their graveyard into their main deck. Then each player draws 5 cards, remove the top 5 cards from their main deck from the game. This card seems like incredible fun. It is all the shenanigans.
Mildeck, kind of.
But it
No, it's
doesn't
not a mill because it puts everything back in and shuffles it.
Oh, right.
It's
and then
it's a wheel of
exiles
fate.
only yours. It doesn't exile your opponent's top 5.
Then each player draws 5 cards. Remove the it does just remove yours.
That's cool.
Yeah, so this does a lot of weird things.
But it doesn't untap your stones, right?
It
And it's a
doesn't.
spell
It's
chant.
4 will to do it as well, so it's utterly unplayable right now. However, in a multiplayer format or something like that, or weird shenanigans, this has a world where it might exist.
Cole will find a way to make this crazy.
Foment of the World is just better than that, I guess, but you need to have a hand. If you're having that card as the only thing in your hand, it might be good.
It's just pure shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's just
I guess it's red
cards.
draw, right?
Yeah.
Red draw could always be
it
good.
is.
I'll play it like a one of, maybe, just to, like, get a fresh new start.
Yeah.
Because red can run dry, and then that gives you a full 5 hand.
I would just love to see more shenanigans cards in red. Just look at the weird thing I just did.
Red is kind of going shenanigans.
I think that's good because making red just a pure powerhouse makes the other colors weaker and makes it,
makes the game stale.
Yeah, I think having a red be a shenanigan color is fun for everyone because it still has a huge impact. The last red card that we have for today is going to be Lapis Beast of Flame. Wow, that imp looks so weird. 2 fire, 2 colorless. It's a 600 attack, 600 defense.
400 defense.
400 defense. It is a beast. It has swiftness. This card it just gets to attack when it first comes in. When this card enters the field, it deals 600 damage to target resonator. This is pretty good. I would like to see it cost 1 less. 3 mana would
if
make
it was
playable.
3 mana, I think it would be broken. I think it would be broken.
So this is remnant to the card.
Tongue.
No, the Flame Tongue copy. Yeah, in Magic it is. But I was trying to think of Enforce of Will. There's the Were-Rabbit that when awakened deals 600 damage or something. So since this is an awakening, if that's why it costs 1 more.
No, he's talking about a Were-Rabbit where the opponent's resonator has to be tapped.
Right.
And then you awaken it once you play it, and then you do 600 damage to attack.
And that card has actually been seeing play. In other words, I've been playing the crap out of it. And this card is not good in comparison. But
don't think so.
No, 4 mana, too much.
A 4 mana for 600.
And I can play that other one as a 2 mana card.
I mean, it's removing something, and then it's also attacking something, attacking in the
but
same
his
turn.
stats as a 400 could be easily killed by
But then that means that you took a card away from
Flame Tongue Kavu is a 4/2, and it doesn't even have haste.
Yeah.
For 4 mana.
It's good. But I don't think it's good enough in Force of Will.
I would say it hits most things.
There's other things that you're going to do earlier that are more impactful.
I guess.
600 damage? What does that kill?
I don't want to go from Lancelot to Percy.
Lancelot?
Yeah. So if my turn 1's Fairy, turn 2 Lancelot, turn 3 Persia, I don't think turn 4 is this guy.
I guess that's fine. Yeah, that's acceptable.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like it.
I don't think you should count him out, though.
No, he might be in a different deck.
This card's like going to be a bomb unlimited.
He's going to be in Cube.
Yeah.
I mean, Flame Tongue Cobb sees Cube in Magic, so he's going to see Cube in
a
Force
world
of Will.
with like Adam Brawley, Gwyber, and like Necrolance, which is mostly all of the Necrolance decks nowadays, which 600 defense doesn't cover that much. It might get like a mana dork.
Isn't that a pretty decent card in that deck? The Necrolance deck? You get the little buffs off it. It's got swiftness.
I feel 4 is a lot of mana to devote to. Like that's like your max curve. I'd rather play like burn spells or something that can hit face rather than just a resonator on the board.
I don't think there's very much of that in the new Alice cluster.
Yeah,
I think it's almost all resonators.
Yeah,
and burn spells that only burn resonators and J rulers. So what about our next card, Jay?
So, sorry for spacing on there for a second. Let you guys talk. The next card is we're finally back out of red, which is kind of nice. I'm glad that they've been splitting up the spoilers with not all of one color. And we are getting this is the second shift card that we've gotten, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
It is...
Or isn't it?
Ellis of Light. It is 1 light, 2 colorless, and it is a Resonator Guardian. 700 attack, 700 defense, Pretty good for a 3-drop.
I don't like that's a guardian.
Shift mechanic is you may play either side of this card, and you can shift it to flip it to the other side for 1 black and 2 colorless. Sorry about that. Flip this card. You may play the shift anytime you can play a spell chance, so you got to do it during your turn. And when this card enters the field, you gain 600 life. Other J/resonators you control gain plus 200 defense. The plus 200 defense is relevant. You gain 600 life could be relevant if there's something that triggers off of life gain. But for 6 mana to get to the other side is not as good as just playing the other side, in my personal opinion, which is going to be Alice of Shadow, which is 1 darkness, 2 colorless, and it does not have shift on this side. It's a resonator shift. Murder Shadow?
Yeah, it's a murder and shadow.
We
got a murderer type again. No, Seven Dwarves was a murderer back in the old days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Murderer's back.
So, murderer archetype. When this card enters the field or shifts, destroy target resonator with the total cost 2 or less. J/resonators you control gain plus 200. Its attack is 500. Its defense is 700. And I think this is one of those cases in which you just play this side of this card.
Yeah,
you don't play the other side.
I'm glad you say that, because when I saw this, it's like, it kind of almost just seems like it's an excuse to add in more, like cheating in more cards into a set while saying we only have 100 cards in this set.
Yeah.
Because these are 2 completely separate cards that
they very much
do not work in the same
No,
deck.
I don't. And paying all that mana to shift to this side just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, this side is good for 3 mana.
I guess you can play black-white Kaguya.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, no, that's black-green. I'm sorry. Because Moon produces green mana.
I mean, if you have extra mana open just to like shift,
then
But I think
then you
this
get
is,
600.
but this is the one that you're going to be playing, though.
yeah,
If
this
you-
is a value one.
And you can play either side. So my question is does that mean when you sleeve it up you have to choose what side
No,
you
you
want?
have to choose what side,
Right.
and that's the one you devote to
So
playing.
I would not choose the other side in hopes of having enough mana to flip to the good side. I'd play the good side, and I wish that it shifted to the bad side
Yeah,
in case I needed 600 life randomly.
yeah, you're right.
And this effect is dead.
This is
after
the one that
enters.
would be cool if it could shift back and forth. I guess it would be broken if it could do that.
Right.
but,
Well, I would just wish that it shifted from shadow to light, not light to shadow.
yeah, but the fact that it's a shadow, it makes it really good. It might make shadows a lot stronger, because they have some good cards.
There's some
They're
really
just-
good stuff.
They're just kind of a little slow, but I think with the cluster, the new change, that card's gonna be good.
It's weird that it takes up another super rare slot for these cards too. Either way, it's a fun card. I'm glad to see that that's how they're choosing to do these double-sided cards. As much as I like flip cards where in Magic, being able to play either side of a card is really, really cool. It just makes it much more different of a mechanic. And I'm super excited for the next set, honestly. I mean, I keep saying that every time that we have a new set, but this is a little bit more than the other ones. I just enjoy the variance, like the widespread of things that we have going on in this one.
I'm not like...
There's nothing like overly impressive, but there's enough
I
new
love
stuff.
like the mechanics that they're adding in this
Yes.
set. I definitely love the mechanics, but the rulers are just so
the rulers
dry.
are pretty bad and dry, yeah.
They are so dry. But I mean, I love the affinity mechanic that they're bringing to the colorless. I love the bunnies like you do.
Bunnies are amazing.
I think
yeah.
everyone loves those two also, so I guess I'm not very original, but red has some really cool stuff. Maybe not strong stuff, but it's got really interesting cards. And let's see here.
Green hasn't been spoiled yet, right?
No, green's been spoiled a little bit.
Yeah, but it hasn't
But
been
no
like
super
the
rares or anything like that.
expanded
Yeah,
side.
nothing yet.
I'm excited for green stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of excited to see what else we got. Also, I want to see what we actually have in blue.
That's right. We haven't seen a single blue card other than the flip side of that.
That's all
Okay.
we've seen for blue.
Yeah,
So
mean,
who knows what's actually going to happen in blue?
The colorless stuff is supposed to be blue.
Right,
because
but
the
they're not
ruler
going to
is
take up
Mechana.
the entire blue with
But
colorless.
I think he. Sorry, what's his name? Jordan said at least half the blue cards will be like the actual blue cards will be helping out the machines.
That's pretty cool.
So that's why he's kind of arguing he doesn't quite know whether or not the second Machina might be better than the first Machina because of these new blue cards that will support the machines. So it's still up in the air as to which. Standing right now, first Machina is better.
Right.
But potentially...
But understandably, the new Machina is inherently a broken card. It just so happens that the first one is better. Mm-hmm. I think both of them are broken cards that just don't have support yet.
Yeah. Like most cards in this
mechanics.
game.
There's nothing else that cheats out such powerful cards for as cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the cheat out big things deck that doesn't have anything to cheat out yet.
You're cheating out 7 costs for 4, right?
Yeah, it's an incredible acceleration, and it just allows you to do a lot of crazy stuff. And the original one allows you to put 3 from your hand out, like it's inherently broken. And up to 12 if you got all 4 stones with the other one.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's just really they're just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be doable with Blessing and the Elf, and sounds fun.
Basically that's not much else that really has occurred in the world of Force of Will over the past week.
We have some news about the next set. The next cluster is going to be a Lapis cluster.
Well, that's what
right.
Lapis.
I forgot about that.
So it's going to be Gil
Lapis'
Lapis'
been around
world.
for a while.
Yeah, we just haven't talked about it.
Yeah, New Grim. It started off as New Grim, now it's going to be called Lapis Cluster.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
So Lapis is going into Grim World, and Grim
he's probably
going to
die.
Now. He has a beard.
I mean, not right away, but I bet he's going to die.
I bet he's going to be reborn or something.
Like Kaguya?
Well, there's lore behind Kaguya why she gets reborn, but I don't understand why Grim would come back.
I don't know.
Oh, Grim?
Yeah.
He can't just die forever.
No, Grim's son has been mentioned. So Grim's son is going to be a card in one way, shape, or form.
Is Grim the... is he the king of fairies?
He's the king in that world.
Fairies or anything like that?
I think he's like the fairy tale ruler.
Well, he's definitely the fairy tale ruler, but is he like a ruler of fairies or anything like that? Is this like the Odin?
That's Oberon.
Oberon and
Oberon's gonna be in this set that we're currently spoiling right now. They've told us that.
I was trying to figure out when that was coming into things, and like Harley Quinn and things like that.
Harley Quinn?
There's other weird things where that's like the son of Oberon or whatever, something like that. Either way, I think I'm just watched too many weird animes. Because that's actually the 7 Deadly Sins, I think, is where that's from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there we go. Either way, too many random stories to keep track of what they're doing in this one. It is cool to see that we're going to be continually meshing the stories from one world to the next. Definitely interesting to see how they're going to keep up with that lore-wise. But anything else that we saw throughout the week, guys? Or
nothing much.
No? Just keeps practicing for the next
I guess Alice tournament? Yeah, practice for the Alice cluster if that's what you guys are looking forward to, those AGPs. Vegas, and I forget what I'm sorry, LA, and I don't remember what the other one is because we're not going to it.
Charlotte is going on. Charlottesville.
Definitely post down below any cool deck ideas that you guys have seen coming out recently, anything that you guys want us to actually talk about.
Well, I know Scott's going to do the same deck as Don here, but he's going to the North Carolina.
Okay.
So good luck, Scott. We love your support.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see what else everybody else has going on in the world. I know that our last podcast was extremely long, and thanks for anybody who actually watched that whole monstrosity.
I watched it all.
That's terrifying. You already lived through it once. Why again? Either which way, guys. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I was your host, Jay Phillips, joined as always by
Patrick Collins
and Don Bowie.
Have a good night, guys.